Basic Orthographic Projection Video 2. In this video we will discuss figure 6-48, which is on page 219. To begin, I will draw the two views that were provided for us in the book, which is the top view and the right side view, and then I will use my construction lines to project over so that we can have a clear drawing for the front view, which is not provided. Now, before we begin, you will obviously have sketched this object on your sketch paper, so you already have a clear understanding of what the front view should look like. So to begin in AutoCAD, I will start with the top view. My overall width is 5. And my overall depth is 2. So this is the boundary in which the top view falls. I know that the radius on the right side of the object is a radius of 1, because the depth, the overall depth, is 2. So half of the depth would be a 1-inch radius. So I can use my tan command for a circle, 1, 2, and 3, and the computer will give me a circle with a diameter of 1. There is also a hole drilled through the object, and that hole has a diameter of 1, so I will draw a circle with a diameter of 1. And the instructions note that there is a material thickness of 0.5, so the portion that is projected upward on the front view will be 0.5. Okay. So now I will trim away all of the unnecessary lines. So here is the upper portion, or the top view portion of this object. And to add another layer to this, we will need to incorporate our center lines. So for all of these drawings in this particular unit, you will need to have center lines, if appropriate, as well as hidden lines and object lines. So for center lines, we know that we will provide a center point for the center of the location of the circles on the right hand side. So we will add in the Annotate tab section, we will need to add a center mark, which provides a location for the center of the circle. So we will always choose the larger of the two circles, if appropriate, so that we can provide a center mark for both the small 1-inch diameter circle and the 1-inch radius. And there will be a hidden line here on this section. However, we do not know the exact location yet, so we will project that over with construction lines. All right, moving on to the right side view, we will need to draw the same 1-inch diameter hole and the same radius of 1 for the right side view according to the drawing that is given. So there's a diameter of 1. Here's my radius of 1. And we know the overall height of the object is 2.25, the total height. So I will draw a line from the top of the quadrant, 2.25 down, and that will get me to my base, the bottom of the object. I'm just going to draw this line across, and I know that the vertical lines are at the quadrants of the circle, the boundary. So I will draw 2 lines here, and I'm going to go ahead and trim out this circle. These are boundary lines. I can delete my center because I do not need that any longer. And it says the material thickness again is 0.5, so I'm going to offset 0.5. There we are. And I need a center mark again, so I'm going to click on my center layer, annotate tab, find the center mark, and choose the larger of the two. So now I have my right view and I have my top view. Now I'm going to use construction lines to project across so that my views are lined up. Construction, start drawing lines across. There's one, I'm going to copy it all the way down, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Construction line across. I'm going to copy that as well. 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so according to my sketch, I know that the object lines, I know the location of the object lines, so now in AutoCAD I can simply trace my construction lines where appropriate so that I can quickly draw the object. So there is the location of my object lines. I'm going to quickly turn on my line weight so that I can see the thickness of the object lines on top of my construction lines. So that's a little trick when we have multiple line types stacked on top of one. Okay, now I know my hidden lines are going to be here and here, and across here and here. So I'm going to find my hidden layer, draw lines quickly across, and across from the top view down. Okay, now we need to add our center lines as well to show up on the views between the hidden lines so that we know that there's a circle involved. If we did not have a center line shown between this hidden set and this set of hidden lines, it would be appropriate to assume that there's not a circle, that the whole is some sort of square or rectangular object. If we have a center line going down the middle, that means that there is a drilled hole inside this object that we cannot see. So I'm going to choose my center layer again, and we're going to extend my line across right there. The line I'm going to hover over, drag my mouse down until I meet the front view, click once, click twice. Now, center lines will appear outside the object. They extend outside the object. So I'm going to select this line, click and drag north, and I'm going to type in an appropriate distance. Let's try 0.25. That'll work. I'm going to click on the bottom, type 0.25. It's always evenly spaced. And there's my center line. Same here. Line, 0.25. Click, drag, 0.25. All right. Now we are almost complete because we have projected our lines across and down. However, this hidden set also should appear here, and this hidden set should also appear here. Now there's two ways to do this. The correct way is to project across from your miter line. So your miter line is a 45-degree line, as we learned in our last video, from the upper right-hand corner of the front view's location. Angle 45. Okay. So now we will draw a line north and across. Now we see that our lines are not lining up. That means our views are not even, which will happen because we were drawing our front view last. So we did not use the miter line to project these points across. So I'm going to simply move this entire object so that it lines up with my construction line. Cross and down. And likewise, this line should line up here and here, which it does. So we know that is correct. And now I'm going to take my drilled hole and project that across. And given that the hole has been projected across to this section, I'm going to copy these three lines up to the top view. Very simple. So given the same information, projecting this line over and back down to here, I'm going to copy this line set across, and we know it's in the center, so we can quickly add the hidden line. I'm going to turn off my construction layer. Sure, we'll keep the current layer off, no problem. I'm going to change my layer just in case I need another line. And there we are. Now we're going to go over here to our A size. And I'm going to choose 0. I'm going to choose layout. I'm going to choose rectangular. And I'm going to add my viewport. I'm going to double click inside. I'm going to scale. Find an appropriate scale. I'm going to click and hold the pan, the mouse wheel, and align to the center. And I'm going to zoom in on my hidden lines and my center lines, and I'm going to choose the line type scale command, LTS. This will change the spacing between my lines, my hidden lines, and my center lines, so I can now see these center line marks. So LTS is a good way to do that. You can manually override the distance between the hidden lines. For example, LTS of 2, the lines are a little longer, here and here. If I LTS at 0.75, they get smaller, and I can see the center of my line. So that's a quick way to do that. Once we have scaled, we have edited the LTS to make it look appropriate for the drawing. We will fill out the information at the bottom, and we will print as a JPEG to put on Canvas. Thanks so much.